So what are some high income skills out there? And you have to know something about me before you actually watch this video. This is very important. I don't believe in dream jobs. I believe jobs are things you actually do to make money. And that's the primary reason you actually do a job. You can say, I'm passionate about it, it makes me happy, I always had this dream, but the main point of having a job is making money. And one big mistake I made early on when I was younger was basically going into a job trying to say, hey, this is my dream job. I'm going to find purpose here. My identity is here. My fulfillment is here. My enjoyment is going to come from this job. It is just a job. And you're in that job. Yes, you're working with people you may like or whatever, but at the end of the day, what happens if you stop getting paid? Or what happens if the company doesn't need you? They let you go. So overall, jobs are for making money. And you also have no guarantee that you're going to be paid for things you actually like. And it is okay to have a job that you don't like as long as you have a purpose to why you actually have that job. I have a friend. My friend makes around like over $200,000 a year. And probably next year is going to move over to almost $500,000 a year. He does software engineering. And he tells me all the time, Tommy, I hate this job, but the reason I do it is because I'm using this money to basically take care of myself in the future. So these high income skills are skills you can actually get like within a year or 2 years and make a ton of money or a good amount of money and use that income, whether you like the job, whether you don't like the job. The point is there is integrity in a job that you actually do, whether you like it or not, to actually do it for a good reason. Some people work jobs they don't like for their families. Some folks work jobs they don't like because they are crazy passionate about becoming financially independent. And I think that's a very good reason, okay? So if you see one of these high income skills and your reaction is, that job is boring, I might not like it, that's not supposed to take you out of the water to actually get that job. But if you see a high income skill where you're going to be sacrificing, or job where you're going to be sacrificing, for example, your integrity and also your health, I don't recommend it, okay? Because it's a trade that I wouldn't make. It's okay to trade time for money for a period of time, but it's not okay to do that for a long period of time because it's not a fair trade, because money you can make more of. Time, you can't get more time. And having like success in the corporate world and climbing the corporate ladder, nobody gets to the end of life and says, you know what I'm very proud about and I'm so happy I did? I'm so happy I spent tons of hours on my corporate job and I finally was called a manager. No one is dying and those are their final words. People don't talk about those things where they're basically passing away. They talk about family and relationships and community and things that actually matter in a way. Does work matter? Yes. But its primary use is for making money. And because it is that primary use, you should be trying to make the most money possible. It's kind of crazy because I used to make a lot of videos back in the day saying, hey, find your passion, find this, find that. But if there's a high income skill out there that you're able to do, right, that doesn't sacrifice your integrity or your health, consider actually doing it. Now, here's a very good example here. I'm going to start this video right away, which is basically not every high income skill is actually worth it. Here's what I mean, okay? Let's say a very high income job is going to be becoming a doctor. You know, there are several different types of doctor, whether it's plastic surgery or surgeon or physician or other doctors out there. But the point is, usually you have to go to school for about 8 years. 8 years of your life where you're not actually going to be working, most likely, where there's a tremendous amount of time being invested, where there's a tremendous amount of pressure, a tremendous amount of work, but the reward is you actually get to make around $200,000 a year on average every single year. Is that a lot of money? The answer is yes. But what also comes with this? The answer is going to be, well, along with that, you're going to have to worry about the amount of money it's going to cost you. Most people have to take out loans. The average doctor owes about $200,000 to $250,000. It is a lot of money, and it's 8 years worth, okay? And being a doctor is a high standard profession. You're working with people's lives. There is a lot of stress. Now, if that's what you want to do, we do need doctors, and I do motivate you, go become a doctor. But for me personally, it wouldn't make any sense because it's so much time, it's so much cost, and then you make money but is it really worth it? So here's the first skill that I want to talk about. The first skill is going to be software engineer. Now, the friend I spoke to you guys about, he actually had a bachelor's and then he did his master's in software engineering, and he got to work in several companies, and guess what he did? This guy has zero loyalty for a company, and that's why I won't go into detail. He went from one company where he was making good money to another company where he made a lot more money, and he's willing at any moment to trade and make even more money. He's not worried about being in a company for loyalty. And guess what? He gets promoted all the time, because guess what? Just because you don't have loyalty for a company does not mean you can't have integrity in your work. You know what I mean? So he performs correctly, he does honest work, and he does great work overall. And people are very satisfied with him. That's why he hasn't been let go. So the point is, even though you might not like a job, even though you might not be loyal to a job, you should still be doing a good job, because that is your integrity. And you should be doing everything with integrity and to the full potential you're actually able to do it. That is the overall idea behind it, and that's why he makes so much money. Now, to become a software engineer, there are different boot camps you can take that average out from 12 months to about, well, not 12 months, from around 12 weeks to like around 36 weeks. So you can basically become a software engineer in about like a year to 2 years, and just do the thing and make at least between $75,000 to $120,000. So now let's say, for example, you started out making $75,000, and around year 3 you go from $75,000, now you're making $120,000. Compare that to a doctor. In about that 8-year mark, you would have made over $600,000, and you would have done it without any debt, because doing software engineering, if you do a boot camp, it can cost you like $10,000, $20,000, but you can pay that. Or you can do like free classes and courses and just basically get the skills and so on, okay? But that's the idea. Imagine making $600,000, having no debt, and that's time you could have spent investing and getting ahead. While the doctor gets $200,000, well, at year 11, right? Because you have like 8 years of no money, and then 3 years of $200,000, but then you also have to basically deduct $200K that you have to worry about debt, right? So now it's more like at year 12. So 12 years. And by 12 years, how much money have you made as a software engineer? How much money have you invested? And how much money in passive income do you have now to cover all your costs of living, okay? That can be tremendous. So don't just think about making money. Think about time. Think about efficiency. And think about how long it's going to take you, obviously. Now, the second idea is going to be becoming a mechanic, an auto mechanic. Now, this can take you anywhere from around like 2 years to 5 years potentially, okay? But again, do you have to go to 5 years and become a master mechanic? The answer is no. The average mechanic makes around like $25 an hour. You can make even more money if you're working for Toyota at around like almost like $30 an hour. But the answer is, in about 2 years, you have a skill where you're actually able to make top quality money overall. And you also have a skill where you're able to actually work on your own, on vehicles, and basically make money that you also get to keep fully. There's also a high income skill. Not all skills are going to be like software related or having to do something else. And by the way, there's another high income skill that I don't recommend because it sacrifices your health. And I don't want you guys to do a skill where it sacrifices your integrity or your health. I want you to be able to have your integrity and your health. And that's going to be like doing trucking, man. I have a cousin, he does trucking. He makes a ton of money and his health is basically deteriorating. He became obese and he's not that healthy anymore. And it's because, hey, he makes a lot of money, but he's in a truck all the time. His back might be a mess. He doesn't have time with his family. Now, is that a good trade? For me, it's not. And that's why I don't recommend in this video, but I am talking about it just so you can have an example of things I don't recommend just for money. Work is for money, but you can't sacrifice your integrity and your health. That's very stupid, all right? I don't recommend that at all. Because if the cost of having a good job is your health, what happens when you don't have your health anymore? Is that an equal trade? It's not, because you can't get your health back. There's no guarantee at that, so I wouldn't do that. Now, number 3 are going to be trades. There are a lot of trades out there where you're actually able to make good money. Here are some: electrician, a welder, a plumber, HVAC tech, a construction manager, and lastly, a landscaper. These are all these are not little trades. These are big boy trades, okay? These are all trades that can take you between 2 years to 5 years or even less, but you're able to make good money. And with this good money, you're able to actually use it to actually make passive income. That is the idea. By the way, big advice here. Keep your cost of living down. As you make more money, stay broke. Stay acting like you don't make any money and use the surplus to be investing, and try to lower your expenses even more. A way to lower your expenses is not just by cutting, but it's by paying things off. You have a car, pay it off. You have credit cards, pay them off. You have a house, try to pay it off faster. Your cost of living goes down drastically while having the same level of quality of life overall. Now, lastly, guys, number 4 is going to be becoming a registered nurse. Now, this takes about like 2 years of having, for example, a program to actually become an NR. Now, I knew someone, or RN, to actually become an RN. I knew someone that actually did this, and the idea is pretty simple. You can go to a college, you can go to a program, you can actually do this in like less than a year or so, and you're able to take the test, get the license, and so on, and then you're able to start working and make almost like $70,000 a year, depending on the state you actually go to. Now, do I rather become a nurse and make $70K a year, or do I rather be a doctor and have 8 years of work, and so on and so on? Okay, so these are things you have to compare. Again, when you think about work for making money and you want time off, the answer is it's great. And also, nurses can make a lot of money from overtime. Would I do it? The answer is no, because I would be sacrificing my health. And would that be worth it? The answer is no. But yeah, it's pretty good because you're able to get started fast. And obviously, nurses have a lot of responsibilities. All these jobs have a lot of responsibilities. Just because you care about money and working for money, it doesn't mean you're someone without integrity. Doesn't matter what the work is, you do it however you want to do it. No, you go in there and you do your best work because you're supposed to do that, all right? As a Christian especially, that's my attitude towards everything. Do everything as I'm doing it for the Lord, because that way I have a lot of integrity with what I'm doing. Lastly, a dental hygienist, all right? You can get this in about 2 years. They make above $70,000, which is a lot of money, and they're able to, well, they're basically responsible for taking X-rays, doing clean work, and basically telling that person that it's not clients, because they're not a client, that patient is a patient. I'm telling that patient about how to take care of their hygiene and so on. So imagine this: you can become a dentist in like 6 to 8 years, or you can become a hygienist and make like $75,000 in like 2 years. Which one do you rather, depend on your state? The answer is I'd rather be a hygienist, all right? That's a hygienist. That's the point, okay? The point is high income skills are not always going to translate into over $100,000 a year. They can translate above $50,000, but if the effort is not that much and you have some flexibility with the work and you're able to get started working fast and making money fast, then it's awesome. Now, guys, these are just 5. And I have some good examples here and some bad examples here. I really wanted to include that. But overall, as you watch this video, always think about my integrity and also, for example, my health. Don't be willing to sacrifice either of those things. I would not work a job where I make a ton of money, but here I am having to mention things that I don't care about or I don't believe in. Like, I'm selling people bad financial products that are going to ruin them financially. I can't do that. It's my integrity. Or, for example, I'm working a job where I need to work for like 16 hours. I had a job where I make good money in the film industry, and there were some integrity problems there, and there were also some problems as far as, for example, my health. Like, there were like 16-hour days. I was like, I can't do this. I mean, right now I can. I'm young, but I'm not willing to sacrifice my youth to actually make more money, you know? So try to find that medium in there. And as you work, keep your cost of living down. Use the extra money to invest. How do you invest? I have videos on that. If you want more on that, comment down below. Let me know. I'll see you guys next time. Peace. By the way, comment down some more jobs.